Cannabis.
Sativa.
Dope.
Indica.
Weed.
Leaf. This is Leaf Life.
All things cannabis for all people.
Now, here are your hosts, Ricker and the Bearded Lorax.
We publish a free magazine called The Leaf that is available in print in 13 states at your local cannabis retailer and also available online at leafmagazines.com. My name is Mike Ricker and I am your host of Leaf Life with my co-host Wes Abney, also known as the Bearded Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
And of course there's Stashley.
The token female.
And Mary J. White.
The smoking female.
The National Basketball Association is one of the most physical and influential sport leagues on the planet. And in October of 2021, they announced that they would not randomly drug test players for marijuana. But for many of those who for years have suffered from adverse effects of prescribed medications, this decision is long overdue. And will other sports follow suit? This is NBA and cannabis.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
Oh.
Nice one, huh, Mary?
Yes.
That was a bad one. Okay. The first segment, playing the game. And in the second segment, weed and the league. But before we get educated, we got to get medicated. So let's get stoned. So, I see you, and wherever your day has led you, whether you're in the car or at home or whatever, now it's time to fire up, chew up, or drink up, and get in the mood as we introduce this show's Greg the Guinea Pig.
Hi, I'm Greg, and Ricker used to try his weed out on me. But now it's someone else's turn to be the guinea pig.
Oh, man, we got a big timer this time. I'll tell you what. Played 14 years in the National Basketball Association and is part owner of KEMP'S Cannabis in downtown Seattle, otherwise known as the Rain Man, SHAWN Kemp. Yeah. Welcome to the Leaf Life Podcast, bro.
Oh, right on, guys. Thank you so much.
14 years, was a Seattle Supersonic, has played what, 4 teams in the NBA?
4 teams.
Four teams, brother. That's quite a history, man. And we're going to hear all about it, playing the game. But first, we got to figure out what you're going to be smoking, Sean, as we spin Stash's wheel to see what's in Stash's stash.
Hey.
And now, what's in Stash's stash?
There it is.
Will it land on the nug jug, the dab saucer, the vape cart, the edible, the infused drink, the inhaler, or the suppository?
You don't want that, Sean.
Ooh, it landed on the nug jug.
Far out.
And we have Dyor. Oh. Dyor with a Y. D-Y-O-R. From High Tide Cannabis.
Dyor. There's a Led Zeppelin song called Jermaker. Nobody knows what the fuck it means or anything, but it's D-Y-E-R, Jermaker, so it's kind of Dyor? Is it Dyor?
Well, I would think it's Dyor.
Yeah, I'm assuming Dyor because
it's gotta be Dyor. Because,
fancy.
You know, with all cannabis stuff, they always turn an S to a Z. Mm-hmm. So I guess now the thing is you turn an I to a Y. Is that right?
Apparently. Yeah, we're looking for...
we don't have a lighter on.
Whoops. We've been doing dabs all day, right?
Damn.
No.
Don't burn Sean's face. That would be bad.
I got long fingers.
This smells like lemonade, though.
Did somebody steal our lighter from the last show?
High Tide grows some of the best weed in Washington. They're part of the Minglewood brand family, which we explore.
Hang on.
In our Brand Bonanza show.
I got matches.
No, Mary.
We got some old school matches over here.
I roll old school. I got matches. I got
everybody
zigzags.
keeps a little match in their little...
Fine.
Listen,
just in case.
If there was a dab rig missing, I'd be worried. But people walk off with lighters every freaking day.
Every day.
No big deal. Once in a blue moon, we got to leave the set to go get a lighter at Leaf HQ, which is where we record the Leaf Life podcast here in the south end of Seattle in the Georgetown area.
Excuse me while I intake.
Okay. SHAWN Kemp.
Gassed up and creamy is how they explain it.
Okay. And how does SHAWN Kemp explain it? Straight out of the nose, Wes?
Ooh.
How do you like them terpenes, Sean?
Yeah, them terpenes are popping.
Okay. It's High Tide here at Leaf HQ.
We can tell you smoke weed just the way you hit that French inhale.
Yep.
Tasting it.
Oh,
Yep.
And that's what I've heard.
Stuff.
That you loved weed, and that's beautiful.
Hey, man, we here for the plant, man.
Yeah,
For sure.
we are.
And you told me off the air that you didn't really start smoking weed until later in your career.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I got introduced to weed, first of all, when it comes to weed, in me, it was, I'm from the Midwest, so.
Indiana.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, I saw weed growing up, but that's a different kind of weed. You know?
Ditch weed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, you know, when I moved out here as a young man, one of the things I recognized is that smell, that flower.
It was different.
Hey,
Stinkier.
come on, absolutely.
The best.
If you smell it, you're going to smell it.
You know as well as I do, bro. We grew up with ditchweed or whatever the fuck brick showed up in town.
You know, and they said it had red hairs in it. People got excited.
Yeah. Now it's all about the pungent aroma, the terps, man. It's about preserving the terps. So, you know, playing in the NBA, it's a very physical sport.
Yeah.
You know, I've sat courtside a bunch of times because I was a radio DJ here in Seattle, and we had a promotion where once a month I got to sit courtside at the Sonics games with a winner of the competition or whatever. So I was down there doing my courtside stroll, you know, so you're seen by everybody, bro. That's the finest, right?
Yeah.
And it's a different game down there.
It is.
You see how fucking physical and how much contact and how large the players are.
Right.
So playing the game, you know, on prescription drugs and such, because they keep you all bottled up, don't they?
A little. I mean, it can be. I mean, depending. You know, everybody's a little bit different. You know, this is just in my experience of playing in the NBA. I just chose a path of not taking very many prescription pills.
Okay.
That was just my choice. I can't speak for the rest of the players. It was just my choice. But also, I think I learned very early on, really fast. My lessons. You know, so for instance, me being a young man just coming into the NBA. You know, my first year, I think I was stitched up probably more than any player in the history of the NBA.
You're hustling, trying to make a name.
Not just hustling, but I think it was an extra emphasis to let me know that I was at that young age.
That the rookie needs to be shown the house.
And at that time, you're talking about at a time where there wasn't any rules to protect yourself at this. So, you know, you're a young man and you're going out there into danger zone and these guys are popping off on you. So, you know, I was getting stitched up every night. So those, I'm going to say I probably received, I'm quite sure, you know, 50, 60, 70 stitches my first season.
Wow. Still getting on the hardwood and playing through that pain.
Well, you have to do it. You got to do it. So I think early on I was taught that popping those pills wasn't gonna work for me.
I see.
You know, because you know, when you take a pain pill and you try to play the game of basketball, it's an instinct game. Your instincts aren't going to be there. And to me, it was tough to even play after you receive stitches. So, like when I received stitches, I didn't even sometimes want to get shot with Novocaine because you feel awkward a little bit, numbness and things. So at least you feel the pain and you know about the pain. And I just think early on, man, I just realized that watching a lot of guys that were older than me probably always revert to pills and soreness of those things, that it probably wasn't going to work for myself.
And you played against the best. You played against Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, some of the older guys as well that were legends with like the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I played against some pioneers of the game. So like Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Bernard King, a lot of these guys who were the founders of the NBA. You know, and those lessons are taught. So, you know, you want to learn. You want to learn quickly, but you're going to learn through pain or happiness.
And how are those guys, you know, generally when you enter the league, are they down to mentor you? Some of them even?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, gotcha.
Absolutely.
Well, because you're competition, right?
Absolutely, competition.
What about your teammates, man?
And the teammates were great. You know, and I say this now, and I hope people hear me. I felt like I was one of the luckiest guys in the world. You know, after I got drafted, I'll tell you a quick story. After I got drafted, 2 days later, I was still going around and stuff. So I met this old player. We actually become good friends later on. His name was Moses Malone.
Oh man!
And
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So I was young. And I was like, oh, man. So I get inside this nightclub one night, and I had played in this game, and they let me in this club with these older guys, and I see Moses at the bar, and I go over to him, and I'm like, oh, Moses, I'm Shawn Kemp, man. I just came into the NBA, and Moses turns around to me, and he goes, I'm not Moses. And I'm like, oh, man. I know. And I was like, man, I know you, Moses Malone.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, I'm not Moses. He's like, my name is Bill. You know,
Okay.
have a good career, kid. Go on, screw it.
Right.
That's a weird fake name. Like a lot of celebrities have a fake name. But I'm Bill.
Bill?
So he refused to even talk to you, much less mentor you.
But you know,
But he was known as a prickly dude.
absolutely.
Prickly
a
Bill.
ball breaker,
But
an
absolutely.
enforcer.
Yeah, but absolutely. It was, these guys didn't really want to be recognized when they came off the court.
Sure.
And I was a young kid, and I didn't really realize that. So he was looking for some privacy, and I was looking to get into his privacy. So I totally understood. But later on, we met again, and we became friends. So, but absolutely, from the start, I think I was able to recognize that it's not going to be as good as you think it is, and these guys are not going to be nice as you thought.
How was the NBA for you as an experience? Did it live up to the expectations of that you had growing up in Indiana, which is a huge basketball state?
Yes, and more. Yes, absolutely, and more. And like I said, I feel like I played at the greatest time in the NBA in a little bit of the '80s. I came in '89, and throughout the '90s, obviously because that's when the game started to grow worldwide. It really started.
And the culture of
Absolutely.
the NBA, the
It
tennis
really-
shoes, the swag, right?
Absolutely. And that's all those things became very, very appealing to me as a kid. So to get a piece of those things, you really had to be informed early on in life, and you kind of had to be focused on getting certain things done throughout your career to become that type of person. You just don't wake up one day and then be like, yo, I'm going to name the shoe after you. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. So it's a lot of following that has to come up to that point. And I think that I was able to put myself around the best people ever to see things happening. So,
Now, it took you about 5 years, and you took the Seattle Supersonics to the finals.
Right.
You won the Western Coast Conference, and you faced up against Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. You guys got finished in 6 games, I believe it was.
Right.
Tell me about that experience, man. That's the top of your game.
Well, I mean, and the top of the history of the NBA, really, and just league history-wise also, because you're talking about Michael Jordan, which is perceivably the best player in the history
Scottie
of the game.
Pippen.
Right, and the Bulls is probably, if there was one team, if anybody recognized, it would probably be the Chicago Bulls team.
International stars.
Of that team being the best
7
team
straight
ever.
championships.
Yeah, man. So, but the thing about this is what a lot of people don't know. Well, when it comes to Chicago, I grew up in Indiana, which is about 45 minutes outside of Chicago, is where I grew up. So I was able to see as a kid Michael Jordan come to the city of Chicago. So I was able to follow Michael Jordan's career a little bit when he got there. I actually knew about Michael a little bit when he was in college.
North Carolina.
Absolutely. So, my history of the basketball game goes like this, man. I started playing AAU basketball as a kid. As you play AAU basketball, you advance through AAU, so you advance to certain stages. I won a national championship every year from the time that I was
14. Nine.
9 years old. So I generally only lost 2 games ever before I got to Seattle.
Wow.
When I came to Seattle, what a lot of people didn't realize is that Seattle crowds and stuff are very small to me. I come from Indiana where basketball is taken very seriously. And where I come from, my state championship game, we had over 100,000 people at my game.
Wow.
And I played in front of a sellout crowd.
In a stadium?
In a stadium.
Wow.
So I played in front of the largest crowd in the history of high school sports ever.
Wow.
Back then in Indiana, we used to have one group. So it wasn't split up in conferences, 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. They didn't do that. It was only one championship.
Oh.
So back then, it was just one team. So you could be the little small team or the biggest school. It was only going to be one champion. Wow. And they used to meet at the gym, which was the Hoosier Dome. And my championship, we bring in, I think it was about 104,000, which is the largest crowd ever in the history of high school sports. And we were also the first high school sports to be played on ESPN.
That's like the big college football game
so
level.
Yeah.
That's huge people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, 1995, was it 95 or 94? You find yourself in the NBA Finals facing off against potentially one of your idols.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've watched this guy come to Chicago, become probably the best player in the NBA. You know,
in history.
You know, as a kid, to let you guys know, I studied the game of basketball. I wanted to become the best basketball player there was. So I studied the game, and I that's why I played on these national teams as a kid, in order to be recognized for these type of things. And you know, I used to go to Chicago Stadium and sit up there and watch Michael Jordan play. You know, I used to go to Detroit and watch the Detroit Pistons play. You know, I was studying these guys because I really wanted to make a move on making it come into the NBA. My first idea of coming into the National Basketball Association actually was in 9th grade. I actually wanted to come into the NBA when I was in 9th grade.
But you came out after your senior year of high school.
I came out my senior year.
You didn't go to college.
I didn't. I actually wanted to come out my 9th grade year, but they said, no, come on, there's no way. You'd be happy to make the varsity team, man.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, and, you know, it was one of these things where I studied. To let you know, man, my coach was great to me growing up. He used to bring in NBA players to talk to me. These players would play me one-on-one in front of the school. I never lost.
Wow.
So when I was in 9th grade, I was already beating NBA players in one-on-one. And these guys would come to the high school gym. So, when you were in high school, you guys probably had a day where everybody met at the gym and they had someone come in and they talked and there was a pep speech, a motivational. Well, we used to have these days. And
Career day.
A career day. And the career day would be Shawn Kemp is going to play this guy from the Indiana Pacers one-on-one.
Wait a minute.
Because we knew that if I could get him on that court, that I was going to kill his ass. And that's exactly what happened.
Being that good that young, how are you not an asshole?
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point. Cannabis.
Seriously.
You know what? I mean, I grew up as out in the country. I grew up with people with a lot of high expectations for myself. Yeah. And then I think my mom always stayed on me for being courteous and humble to people. Yeah. Being a part of something that it was going to go a lot longer ways than that. But absolutely, man, I grew up there was a few cases where I had to have some learning experiences early on in life and later on in life. So absolutely.
You ain't the only one.
You know, so
one of those experiences was getting served by Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals.
Oh,
you gotta admit it, bro. Yeah,
man, not just Michael Jordan, but I can tell you this, man, my rookie year, we playing shit. We went to Boston, and I wasn't playing much at this time. And it's funny how these things happen, but we're playing Larry Bird.
Yeah. And
in
the
Boston.
Chief. And the Chief.
And we're playing it.
Robert Parrish.
When we went to practice that morning, we used to have a shoot around in the morning. So I get this phone call, it was about 3 o'clock, and it says, "Hey, are you up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm up. You got to go to the gym early?" And I said, "Yeah." They was like, "Well, don't go to the gym early. You starting tonight. You guarding Larry Bird." X-Man's got sore knees. And I was like, X-Man got sore knees.
The X-Man, Xavier Daniel.
You gonna take tonight off.
So they're moving.
So they're like, you're guarding Larry Bird tonight. And I was like, I was like, okay, I'm guarding Larry Bird. So I was excited, man.
Let's go.
And it was one thing that got my attention. I'm leaving the hotel and I go through the lobby and I see on the USA, the front page, and it said, "Larry Bird has lost it." On the USA Today, that's what it said on the sports edition.
No.
Larry Bird, and I'm like,
no
shit.
After you played him?
No, this is before the game. As I'm going to the Boston Arena, and I saw that on that USA Today, and I was just like, oh man, this is not going to be good.
The stakes are high now.
Yeah, because that means that he's going to really try to come out.
100%. Well, hey man, we'll get to the second segment in just a sec, but first it's time for you to play a game.
What's up?
That game is called Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
From dumpster diving to living large and thriving.
Get out of here, you bum.
Guess the celebrity who was formerly homeless. This is Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
All right, so can you name the celebrity who was once houseless? Okay, or homeless.
Homeless.
Yeah. All right, number one, potentially the greatest magician who ever lived, this aspiring escape artist escaped home by hopping a freight car to Missouri when he was a boy. A few years later, he moved to New York City with his father, but they were so poor the boy continued to panhandle in the streets, eventually at the ripe old age of 17. He began his professional magic career, escape artist being the key word here.
I want to know who this is.
Harry Houdini.
Oh, Harry Houdini.
I thought
I thought it was a ball player.
I thought it was a ball player.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, man. These are homeless celebrities.
Homeless celebrities.
There we go. Look, he's lost interest all of a sudden. Get that,
they
get that bong loaded up, Stash.
Ricker loves
Homeless
trick
celebrities.
questions.
Yeah, I like to trick you, bro. Sorry. Number two. As an aspiring comedian in the 1980s, this popular game show host lived in his Ford Tempo for 3 years. He would wash up in hotel bathrooms, gas stations, or pool showers until one day he was called to appear on Showtime at the Apollo, which turned into his big break, not to be confused with his big teeth or his big bank account. Game show host?
I'm going to say Steve Harvey.
That's correct.
Oh, shit.
Good job.
There you go, Sean. Nice work, brother.
Yeah.
Swish
Woo, 3
from
points.
the 3-point line. And lastly, this one-time A-list Hollywood celebrity was between a rock and a hard place when he spent 3 weeks living at a bus station. There he came across an ad for an adult film that was paying $100 a day. He worked on the film long enough to get himself out of the bus station and eventually into a series of blockbuster movies, Dancing on the Steps in Philadelphia.
You got Sylvester Stallone?
That's correct.
What?
Yeah.
Was he a like film crew or was he in the movie?
No, he did it.
$100 a day, man. That was
did
big
some-
pay back in like the
That was
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a short little dude.
In a
but
adult film. By the way, if you would have guessed,
Yeah, he actually wrote Rocky.
he wrote Rocky.
the first one,
He actually
Did he
wrote
really?
Rocky. Yeah, he wrote Rocky.
Yeah.
In his writer, he said he wouldn't sell it unless he acted in it.
Yeah.
And he turned down offers and ended up going
Well, they
with the
should have given
smaller.
him one of them new wife beaters because that wife beater that he had on in Rocky was beat.
Tattered, bro. He was hanging around by the fire.
Man, that thing was beat up.
Hey, if you're looking for more Leaf content, just log into leafmagazines.com where you'll find cannabis news, reviews, entertainment, and culture. And that's where you'll get our extensive library of past Leaf Live shows. Now, coming up in part 2 today, we'll take a deep look into weed and the league and get another spin of Stash's wheel and kick it all off with another episode of Where in the World. Leaf Life continues in just a moment.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies.
Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Northeast Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Amsterdam Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug. There may be health risks associated with consumption of this product. For use by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children.
Some of the wardrobe, including Ricker or Wes's sick lids, is provided by Grassroots California. Check out the dopeness at grassrootscalifornia.com.